When we talk about true legends, we absolutely can't overlook Oprah Winfrey. Think beyond her role as a talk show host because she's so much more than that. For starters, she's an innovative actress, a powerful producer, a keen book critic, and she runs a massive media empire. Plus, believe it or not, she still manages to dedicate herself to philanthropy. Some even argue she's the most influential woman in the world. But what really amazes me is how she keeps her feet on the ground amidst all her fame and success. Oprah's the kind of person you can imagine having a cozy chat with over a cup of tea, just talking about life. It's incredibly motivating to see someone of her stature remain so relatable. And remember, even someone as iconic as Oprah had to start from somewhere. But before we get started, welcome to Tales of Titans, the place where business and history come to life. So, let's look into the inspiring story of Oprah. Oprah Winfrey was born to a young single mom on January 29, 1954 in Mississippi. Right from the start, she wasn't just dealing with being poor, but also with some really tough situations at home. But even as a little girl, Oprah was all about learning as much as she could and making her voice heard. And on top of that, she wasn't afraid to dream of a bigger, better life. Her grandma was the first one to see something special in Oprah. Understanding that Oprah had the potential to achieve much more than what her current situation offered, her grandma decided to help her grow. So, when Oprah was only 2.5 years old, her grandma began teaching her to read. And Oprah just lapped it up. She became so engrossed in the world of books that by the time she was only 3 years old, she was already reciting verses from the Bible to the congregation at their church. She would stand up there and share the wisdom of ancient scriptures at that tender age. The sight was so remarkable that the people who attended that church began calling her the preacher. When Oprah was only 9, her mother was working as a housemaid, so she used to hire Oprah's 19-year-old cousin to babysit her. But instead of protecting and taking care, he would sexually assault and rape her. He would then bring her ice cream and ask her to keep this a secret. At that time, Oprah was studying at Lincoln High School, and she was actually excelling in her studies. Because of that, they transferred her to a more upscale school. Now, being in that environment with all these wealthy students, she felt the pressure to fit in. To keep up with her well-off classmates, she started stealing money from her mother. But, of course, her mother found out about the theft and was enraged. Sadly, the sexual abuse did not stop there. In the years that followed, she was also raped by her uncle and a family friend. Yet, she couldn't tell her mom because of their strained relationship. This was when she realized she was pregnant. So when she was 13 years old, she ran away from home. Oprah moved in with her father, and during this period, she tragically gave premature birth to a son who passed away soon after. Now, moving in with her father might sound like a relief, but it was a mixed blessing. He was strict, disciplining her in ways that were foreign to her. But here's what's incredible and almost heartbreaking about Oprah. In spite of the darkness that loomed over her childhood, she never let it dim her inner light. This resilient girl, despite the traumas, was an exceptional student, and her hard work and determination paid off. She was given a full scholarship to Tennessee State University, where she pursued her passion for communication. At 22 years old, Oprah took a big step and relocated to Baltimore to become the co-anchor for the 6 o'clock news with a salary of $22,000. Known for her deep empathy, Oprah found it challenging to maintain a neutral stance while covering tragic news stories. And she was so compassionate that she'd personally offer blankets to those affected by a fire she reported on. There was even a time she attended a funeral for a report and couldn't muster the courage to ask the bereaved family for comments, feeling it was too intrusive during their time of sorrow. Her boss noticed her struggle with the emotional detachment expected in news reporting and deemed her too emotionally invested for the role. But Oprah was in the middle of a yearly contract, meaning if she was fired, she'd still be entitled to her full salary. So, rather than letting her go, her boss opted to reassign her to a less prominent position as a co-anchor on a local talk show called People Are Talking. Oprah feared this move might spell the end of her career ambitions. That is why she even begged the general manager not to make her take the talk show gig, worried it would be a step down. However, he persuaded her by suggesting that the talk show offered a platform to make a more significant impact than she ever could in news reporting. Taking a leap of faith, Oprah agreed to co-host People Are Talking alongside Richard Scher. Their debut episode featured interviews with an ice cream vendor and a soap opera actor, which was quite an unconventional pairing that surprisingly worked. Oprah immediately felt a strong connection with this new format. Her natural ability to ask insightful questions and share her own experiences openly struck a chord, particularly with female viewers. It wasn't long before the talk show gained popularity, proving Oprah's initial apprehensions wrong and setting her on the path to becoming a beloved television personality. After working for 7 years on this show, Oprah was scooped up by the American Broadcasting Company, and at that time, their morning show was struggling, always coming in with low ratings, and was primarily focusing on traditional women's topics. But when Oprah took the reins, everything changed. She pivoted the show to focus more on current and often controversial subjects. And just within a few months, her show skyrocketed in ratings. It even surpassed Phil Donahue's show, which was super famous in Chicago. Thanks to its immense success, the show was renamed to The Oprah Winfrey Show and got a full hour slot. Initially, it started as a casual chat show, but over time it evolved into a platform that touched upon societal issues and invited celebrities to share their perspectives. The show ran impressively for 25 years, from 1986 to 2011, and despite a few hiccups and controversies, it clinched 47 Daytime Emmy Awards. Then, in 1986, after seeing the success of her talk show, she took a bold step and started her own production company, Harpo Productions, Inc. What's even more impressive is that within just 2 years, she bought the production rights and ownership of The Oprah Winfrey Show from ABC. This move made her the first woman ever to produce and own her own talk show. She didn't stop there, though. Oprah ventured into movies as well. In fact, she co-starred in Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple and earned an Oscar nomination for her role as Sophia. Later, in a film called Beloved, she portrayed a former slave. And to really immerse herself in the character and understand the depth of what a slave might feel, she had her team tie her up, blindfold her, and leave her in the woods for a whole day. It just goes to show how dedicated and passionate she is about her craft. Now, Oprah didn't just achieve success, she harnessed it for the greater good. She's founded the Oprah Winfrey Foundation, which donates to all sorts of causes worldwide, like education, health, the environment, and many social projects. And here's the impressive part. She even started the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. It's this amazing place that provides education and other resources to young girls there. Thousands of young women in South Africa have had their lives transformed because of it. Oprah's downright incredible because she's proof of what sheer determination can achieve. By 2004, she wasn't just wealthy, she was the only black billionaire in the world, holding that distinction until 2006. But there's more to Oprah's power because the show she created wasn't just popular, it had what people call the Oprah effect. This means that Oprah had such a big influence that she could sway the American public's choices in books, their spiritual beliefs, and even their political views. In 2000, she co-founded the Oxygen television network, and then in 2008, she announced she was starting her own TV channel, the OWN or Oprah Winfrey Network, which officially kicked off in 2011. In fact, by 2014, she had amassed a fortune of over $2.9 billion, and that number only kept climbing. Not only was she financially successful, but she was also immensely influential. Both CNN and Time magazine honored her by calling her the world's most powerful woman, and even hailed her as one of the most impactful figures of the 20th century. And that's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed today's video. To view more amazing content, click on the video being shown on your screen right now.